How's it going, y'all? And about a month ago, I put up a poll on my channel asking what my next video should be. And the winner was a 2028 Democratic primary prediction. And I tried to map it out, and I tried to go state by state with the primary schedule. And honestly, it kind of sucked. Honestly, I feel like primaries are just so chaotic and so momentum based that it's just kind of hard to predict like that. And I feel like a better way to do it is to have a tier list. And the higher you are would be how much further you get in the primary and how much better of a chance you have in the primary. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I feel like it's a better format, and we're just going to be seeing how it goes. This is going to be a bit more of a laid back video, so sit back, I don't know, get some popcorn, and yeah, let's just get started. So starting off with F tier, that would probably be like dropping out before the first primary. Then D tier would be like dropping out right after like a South Carolina or an Iowa or New Hampshire. Then C tier would be like dropping out around Super Tuesday. B tier would be like making it a little bit past Super Tuesday. A tier would be like you're getting pretty far, and then S tier is probably like you're a strong front runner who could seriously win a primary. And then not running means take a guess. So we're gonna be starting off with who I think won't be running. I tried to get an ad blocker to get rid of these ads. There might be some blocking in this video if one of the ads doxes me. But yeah, so let's just get started with the people that I think aren't gonna be running. Starting off, I'm just gonna be going down the list here. I don't think that oh god, I forget his name. Dean oh shit, I keep forgetting his name, but I don't think he's gonna run. He kind of wasted his career by trying to primary Biden, and it didn't work. So yeah. Catherine Cortez Masto's up for re-election in 2028. She's not gonna do it. There's a couple of people that are up for re-election in 2028 that I don't think are gonna do it. Mark Kelly, then you've got Raphael Warnock, who's here, and then you have John Fetterman, who I think is going to retire from politics in general just for his health, but I especially don't think he'll try and go for a higher office like president, especially when it looks like he might not even hold on to his current job. Joe Manchin, he retired, he's old, he can't do it. Josh Stein is also up for re-election as governor of North Carolina. Who else? I think Jon Stewart probably won't run. He seems like he just really doesn't want to get into politics. Michelle Obama, I hate when people have her as a possible candidate because she hates running. She's one of the main reasons that Obama didn't want to run in the first place. So yeah, I don't know who this dude is, so he's not going to run. Mark Cuban could be really interesting, but I just don't really see any enthusiasm. I do see enthusiasm from Stephen A. Smith, but you know what? I don't really see it. I think you could get pretty far, but his momentum kind of ran out pretty early, only when there was a few months past 2020, past the 2024 election. So I just don't really think he has the momentum, and I don't think he's going to try, although he has been hinting at it, but I just don't really see it. And then I think, Roy Cooper, he'll have just been elected to the Senate. Actually, you know what? We'll keep him just for fun here. And then also Tom Suozzi, he'll be up for re-election in 2028 as well. And I think past that, Angela Alsobrooke, she just got elected senator, so I don't really see it. And past that, I think that's it. So everyone else here, I think probably is gonna run, except for one person, but we'll save that just to keep it interesting. Oh, AOC, everyone is polling her in the primaries, and I don't see why. She's gonna try and primary Schumer, or just, stay as a representative or something. I think she wants to wait before becoming president, so she can be more experienced and be closer to the establishment, so they won't try and pull a Bernie in 2016 and try and make her lose the primary. So I think she's gonna wait, become 2036 or 2040. You know what? Maybe she could do it, but for now, I don't think she's gonna run. But everyone else, I do think will run. And let's just go person by person. So starting off with Amy Klobuchar, I'm going to put her in C tier. She's pretty good with the Midwest, but I don't really see her getting further than Super Tuesday. She had her chance, and at this point, she seems more interested in continuing in the Senate. I'm going to be going somewhat fast here because with all these people, it'll be 40 minutes if I don't. Andy Bashir, I'm going to put him in B tier. I know that's super controversial. I know there's tons of people out there around my channel and on Twitter and stuff like that love Andy Bashir and think he'll be the nominee. And I just kind of see it as more of a hyper online campaign. I know that sounds bad, but I just feel like people are overestimating him and trying to paint him as some Bill Clinton figure, when honestly, he's just kind of boring, and it's not going to play very well. Yeah, you need someone who's very charismatic in the Trump era, especially. The last Democratic president to serve 2 terms was Obama. Then it was Clinton. You need someone who's charismatic if you want to have a strong candidate and have a strong chance at winning. And I don't think Bashir can really round up the delegates in a primary that's as contested at like this. I think he could do pretty good in like Appalachia or something, but I just don't really see him going too far. Next we got Chris Murphy. I'm going to say D tier. I think he gets 2% in like the first primary, then drops out. Yeah, he's kind of boring. So I just don't really see it. Gavin, you know what? We're going to save Gavin for the end. Gina Riamon. I can't even say her name. That's how little name rec she has. Her name recognition is trash. I'm sorry if you're watching this somehow, but like, I just can't really see her getting very far at all. Gretchen Whitmer, I'm going to put her in, it's really close between A and B. I'm going to throw in A just because, one, she's a very popular governor in the Midwest. She speaks pretty well. And Michigan is very early in the primary schedule. So if she gets a nice boost from that, I think she can get pretty far. But she's been caught way too many times doing stuff with like Trump. And like, when she was caught in the White House with like the folder in front of her face, like, oh my God, that is one of the worst ways that you can be photographed. Like, why did she even try and cover herself up? I don't know. If she keeps falling into Trump's traps, because they recognize that she's a good candidate. So they're trying to get her out doing stuff like this. And it's working because I think she's losing steam from all the stuff she's doing. You need to be very anti-Trump in these primaries. And I just don't really think she's doing it. So if she keeps getting like in these traps, I'm going to move her down to B. But for now, I think she gets pretty far. And I think she does pretty well. Jared Polis, he's pretty boring. I'm gonna put him right next to Klobuchar, maybe even D tier, not C tier. He's pretty boring, but I think he gets some moderates. And I think he does okay, but he definitely drops out around the Super Tuesday time, much like Klobuchar, maybe right before Super Tuesday. Then we got JB Pritzker. I don't think he does too well. I'm gonna put him in C tier. He's very popular amongst the left, amongst like socialists and stuff like that. And I you know what? I just don't see it. He's too unpopular in his home state. He's not underwater or anything, but like it's Illinois, so a Democrat being underwater would be huge. But he's still not like the biggest in terms of name recognition. He's not very popular. So I think he gets to a little bit further than like the first few states, and then he drops out. We got John Ossoff here, who I think is very underrated. I'm gonna put him in A tier actually, because I think he can get very far. He can get great suburban support, great educated vote, great white vote, great black vote. So, he's from Georgia. He did okay there in 2020. I think he's going to do pretty good there in 2026. And I think, he'll be okay. He's very young. He's very charismatic. And I think he's got a decent shot at being an upset candidate. The question is, he'll have just come off a very nasty re-election campaign in 2026. So I think him trying to like win a presidency, it might come off as too ambitious, and like he's just trying to like ladder climb and become president. I think he'll maybe wait a few years before he runs, but if he does run, I think he's got a very good shot. I'm actually going to put him in front of Whitmer because I think he is a very strong candidate that can appeal to the entire party and unite the entire party, progressives, moderates, everyone. I think he'd be great. We got Cory Booker here. Well, I think he'd be okay with black voters. I'm going to put him in B tier. He's polling decent with them. And in the primary as a whole, but that's mostly just because he gained a lot of name rec from his Senate speech, his like longest filibuster in history. And I don't think that's going to hold really. How long is the election from now? Like 3 years? I just can't really see it. I think he's going to fall off in polling, but I still think he'd do okay. He's, in a decent position in terms of like how like leftward he is, how progressive he is. I think he could do pretty well. I think he can appeal to suburbanites, to minorities. But for now, I just don't feel comfortable putting him anywhere ahead of B tier. Kamala Harris, this one is very interesting. If you asked me a few weeks ago, I would have said that she's not going to run and she's going to go for governor of California. But I was proven wrong, and she is not going for governor of California, which most likely means she's going for president again. And I'm debating to put her between S and A, because I think she could do very well with women, with resist libs, because she was the last Democratic nominee, and she still got extremely high name recognition, and she's polling very high. But the issue is her polling numbers have gone down considerably as more and more people have forgotten about her. Like, ask Mitt Romney, like, how he's going to do in the 2016 Republican primary. Not very well. So I just don't really see it. I don't really see her being, like, the nominee. So I'm going to put her You know what? I'm going to put her in A tier. Very high A tier just because of name recognition. And I could easily see her becoming the nominee. But for now, I just don't feel comfortable putting her in S tier because I feel like she's going to continue falling off as time progresses. As time progresses. And I feel like she's just going to keep getting lower and lower in polling numbers as more and more people forget about her and look towards better options in the primary come 2028. Next, we got Kathy Hochul. Next, we got what's her name again? Marianne Williamson. Yeah, there we go. Pete Buttigieg. I'm going to put him in S tier. Here's the thing. So he's polling very high with white voters and decently with Latinos. He's doing very well with suburbanites, and he can introduce himself and his policies very well to really any type of voter. He's a phenomenal speaker. The issue is black people just hate him. He's literally polling at 0% with black voters. It's honestly remarkable how bad he is with black voters. And that's the issue. The median voter in these Democratic primaries is a boomer black voter in like Mississippi. And if you can't win that person, like Biden did, like Hillary did, you're not going to win a primary. And I don't think he would. The issue is he's just polling so high right now. He's polling in first place, even with Kamala Harris on the ballot a lot of the time. And, you know, I just can't neglect that. And I think he could do pretty good with black voters, enough to, you know, bring some of them onto his side to try and win the nomination. So I think that's enough to put him in S tier. But for now, I think he's going to hit a hard ceiling at a certain point where he's going to do super well with white voters. But the second that you get some black primaries, he's just not going to do too well because, you know, he's just not there yet with black voters. He can't appeal to them. He just doesn't appeal to them just yet. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I just don't think he does right now. And I think he falls off and he hits a brick wall. But for now, I think he is still a top front runner. I think he can get very, very, very far. The issue is just, can he cross the finish line? And I'm not sure about that. So I'm not really sold on him. I still think he qualifies for S tier just because of how amazing he's doing with white voters, with suburbanites, with Latinos. He's doing pretty good with Latinos. Not the best, but he's doing okay. And I think that's enough to put him in S tier, even if he's not the best nominee or the most likely nominee that I think Democrats have just yet. All right, who we got next up? Rahm Emanuel. I'm sorry, bro. I don't even know who these people are. Who's Gina Raimondo? Who is Rahm Emanuel? Please tell me. I know he was like the mayor of Chicago and he was something under the Obama administration, but nobody knows who these people are, and that's why they're not going very far. You can spend so much in advertising, but at a certain point, like, come on. F tier, bro. I don't think he gets further than like Iowa, if he even makes it to Iowa. Next we got Roy Cooper. I don't think he's gonna run. I should have put him in not running because like he's old and he's already, you know, barely running for North Carolina Senate. Like he barely chose to run for it because he's old and he's tired, and I definitely don't think he wants to run for president. So he definitely prefers, you know, something smaller like the Senate compared to the presidency because he turned down the vice presidency in favor of running for Senate in 2026. So I just don't really think he has any ambitions. So I'm going to put him in not running. Next, Ro Khanna. I'm going to put him in D tier. I think he has a good art. I think he's going to try well, but like, you know what, at a certain point, like he's too progressive to like, you know, if you want a strong electable progressive, look at John Ossoff, look at Gresham Whitmer, but him, you know, like, I don't see it. You know what? I'll be nice. I'll put him in C tier because I think he gets a bit further. You know what? No. I'm not gonna be nice. I'm gonna be mean. I'm gonna be mean. He goes in D tier. Okay, Ruben Gallego. He's the first person that we've seen like practically just campaigning straight up. I think he's touring South Carolina already, and like, I respect the grind, but D tier, not D tier, B tier. I think he's got, you know, decent Latino appeal, obviously. He can appeal to suburbanites, to progressives. He won by a pretty large margin in 2024 in Arizona, and that's largely just because of Kari Lake being Kari Lake. But you know what? Like, you can say you won by a large margin in Arizona, a state that Harris lost by 5, and primary voters will be like, you know what? You make a good point. I think he's a much better candidate as a vice presidential nominee, and I think that's probably what he's angling for instead. So I think he probably drops out after or before around like Super Tuesday in favor of like endorsing someone so that he can become their VP later. I think that's a pretty strong, you know, idea, so that the person can get some nice Latino support and, you know, just like juice the campaign. I'm losing my mind right now. I don't even know what I'm saying. But yeah, I think he'd do pretty good. Okay, Tim Walz. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think he's gonna run. I know. You'll be like, Sammy, what do you mean? What do you mean he won't run? It's Tim Walz. He's been touring the entire country. He was Kamala Harris's VP. He could seriously win a primary. Minnesota's on Super Tuesday. He's got very good Midwestern appeal. And I'm like, bro, he's old. First of all, he's super old. Second of all, he's running for re-election probably as governor in 2026. Although I will say, if he doesn't run for re-election in 2026, I think he'll run for president, and if he does, I'll put him in like A tier. But, big but, pause. I think he's not going to run right now, because I think he's going to run for governor in 2026, and I think that will be enough. And he's old, so yeah. Okay, we are left with the three big boys. Low-key, these are the three people that I think have the best chance of being the Democratic nominee in 2028. I'm not going to lie. If Pete Buttigieg, you're up there, but like these three are where it's at. I guess I spoiled all their placements, but we'll just go one by one. First of all, Wes Moore. I think he'd be a phenomenal VP nominee. But just as a base nominee for president, he is very good in the suburbs. He speaks very well. He's young. He's charismatic. He's progressive. But he's also like tolerable to moderates. He's very popular in Maryland. He handled the bridge collapse, the tragedy that happened, very well, kind of like a reverse of a Chris Christie or something. He's very good, very competent. I think he'd be a phenomenal VP nominee. And I think if you had to ask me to bet on who the VP nominee is going to be in 2026, I think it's Wes Moore. But he could do very well with black voters, very well with white voters, very well suburbanites, very well with moderates, very well with progressives. He's the perfect candidate. The issue is I'm not sure if he's going to run. He said he's not going to run, but so did Obama. So let's take it with a grain of salt here. And also just like, he's pretty low name recognition right now. He's polling pretty low, but South Carolina is probably going to be the first state in the polling, in like the primary schedule. And that is a massive boost for him, because if he does very well there, he's good. He's good. That can boost him into the national spotlight, and momentum can take it from there. So that's why I think he's an S tier, because I think he can go super far, and he's probably the most underrated person in this entire tier list on who will probably be the nominee. Next up, we got Josh Shapiro. He's who I previously thought is most likely to be the nominee. Now that's been changed, which I guess spoils my thoughts on Gavin Newsom. But back to Shapiro. Obviously extremely popular in Pennsylvania, very popular in the Northeast. If he wins by a lot in 2026, that'll further build on his case. He's very electable. He's got some skeletons in his closet, like his time as AG, but he's still very good, very electable with suburbanites, very good with moderates, very good with white voters, with rural voters. He's a great candidate. The issue is with progressives, especially if the war in Gaza is still going on by 2028. That'll seriously hurt him with young people. But I'm not sure if it will. And I think that a lot of the moderate DNC will try and start to like back him as time goes on. And as like more moderate people start to drop out, I think the DNC goes behind him, and more people start to endorse him at the DNC's behest. I think it's behold. I don't know what they did with Biden. And I think that boosts him a lot to where I think he's one of the top guys. Is he number one? I used to think that, not anymore. But I still think he's number two. Who's number one? This guy. I'm so good at transitions. Yeah. So Gavin Newsom. I think he's the most likely Democratic nominee at this point. If you asked me 2 weeks ago, I'd have said, "What? Well, you're full of bollocks." You know, I'm actually losing my mind. This is the third video I've recorded today. That's how much I'm losing my mind right now. But yeah, I would have been like, preposterous. But here's the thing. He's just so locked in. Like, everyone else is stumbling and being like, whoa, he is just laser focused. He's already picking fights with JD Vance. His Twitter account, like his press office, they're actually like destroying Trump. I'm not even kidding. Like they're doing very well. He's building up his momentum. Even like electing like people that study elections and think that Newsom would lose to Vance still think he should be the nominee, because like they just think he's cool. It's crazy. He's united everyone from extremely far right, which is insane, by the way, to progressives. It's remarkable, frankly. Yes, I still think he would lose to JD Vance in contrast to Shapiro and Moore, but I still think that like he'd make it close, I guess. And if he did win, he'd probably be a one-term president. But like, come on, he's angled himself perfectly. I used to think he would have no appeal, but I recognize now that he is our Joe Biden, in that nobody really loves him, but enough people kind of like him to where he'll be the nominee. And it's kind of sad if you're a Democrat because he'd probably lose to Vance. But like, you know, at least he's a person. Yeah, and the Republicans wonder why Democrats are losing. Oh my God. Okay, yeah. So he's decent with progressives. He's okay with moderates. Resist libs are where he just destroys. You know, yeah. I'm not really sure what his perfect demographics are. He'd do okay with Latino, pretty good with Latinos, okay with black voters, pretty good with white voters, really good with suburbanites, pretty bad with rural voters. But you know what? That's enough of a coalition. I think he will be the nominee, and it's sad if you're a Democrat, but I think it's the case. If you ask me who I think would, you know, most likely lose to Vance, of these like top guys, Newsom, Buttigieg, Harris, and that's it. People who would beat Vance: Shapiro, Moore, Ossoff, Whitmer, Bashir. It's a toss-up, but I think so. Booker and Gallego. But yeah, so these are the guys that I think could really, like, they're the front runners. These are the guys that I think could probably win. These are the guys that I think make it to like Super Tuesday. These are the guys that I think, you know, kind of drop out around Super Tuesday. These are the guys that I think drop out before Super Tuesday. And these are the guys that I think drop out before single primary, because who are these people? Thank you guys so much for watching. This was kind of like a goofy, I don't know what this video was. Just to hold you guys over until my last two videos of like this videos that I'm putting together come out, because like these next two videos, man, they are bangers. Like, first one, it's gonna be a 2026 election night with the House and the Senate, and official like official like voiceover commentary. It's top notch. I already edited it. It's ready. It's gonna be posted in like a few days once this video comes out. But yeah, it's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be beautiful. I don't know why I'm actually like I'm dying inside. And then next we got what if Al Gore won in 2000? It's gonna be unbelievable. Like, literally, I spent 2 hours editing the first minute. That's how good it's gonna be. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. This was. Let me know if you like these kinds of. I don't know what the fuck this was, but let me know if you guys like this style. Thank you guys so much for watching, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace out. Who the fuck is Rahm Emanuel? Bye.
So I'm not so hard, the Republic wanna find me. The first time he's gonna find me. What's 50 grand to a motherfucker like me? Can't please remind me. Ball so hard, this shit crazy. Y'all don't know that them shots phase me. George could go 0 for 82, and I look at you like this aim shaky. Ball so hard, this shit weird. We ain't even supposed to be here.